I want to demonstrate to you the absolutely absurd lengths that Judge Aileen Cannon will go to protect Donald Trump in this document scandal. So take a look at this. Judge Dearie, who is the special master, who was chosen by the Trump team, special master being mandated by Judge Aileen Cannon, has apparently just discovered recently that he has been undercut for some reason that apparently made no sense to him by Judge Aileen Cannon. So what happened is that she apparently, in a very sneaky way that we're gonna describe, tried to delay the time it'll take until you eventually find out whatever it is that he's discovering. Because remember, every day he's doing work on these documents. And she originally said, you have to be done by the end of November, pushing it back quite a ways until after the midterm elections. He was appointed and said, I'm gonna be done actually in like a couple weeks in October. And in theory, he might even have interim reports, information that he would like to put out there before the final report is actually done. She tried to stop him from doing that, and I want to give you the details. So he sent this thing to her, this is documented, you can find the actual text if you want, but in it, he respectfully argued that an order that she had done that curtailed his authority to submit reports should be overturned, and in fact, it was overturned. Now, the way that this worked was, you might recall, Judge Aileen Cannon initially, before Raymond Dearie was the special master, stopped the DOJ from analyzing the documents. So they had seized the documents back from Trump, they'd recovered them, and they were looking through them. She stopped that, okay. So that was appealed to the 11th Circuit, okay? The 11th Circuit decided, no, they can look at these documents. So because of that, Aileen Cannon needed to amend the order that she'd already put out, so that the DOJ would now be able to look at those documents again. So she did. She decided when she did that to strike a portion that allowed for Raymond Dearie to put out interim reports. Why? What does the one have to do with the other? Absolutely nothing, except that a couple of things have changed since she initially wrote that. Remember, when she initially wrote up this report saying Trump's team wants a special master, she obviously wants whatever Trump wants. She wrote it up. She didn't know who the special master was gonna be. She didn't know what approach the special master would have to this investigation. She only had this construct that she had created, that she's gonna stop the DOJ from investigating it. She's going to allow Trump's team / the DOJ to choose someone, and they can look into it over the next few months, putting it off for some time until maybe people actually forget about this thing. Instead, what happened was the person that the Trump team picked was Raymond Dearie, that they thought might be some sort of critic of the FBI or whatever. And it turns out that he's been more of a critic of their legal strategy, asking tough questions like, so are you actually gonna get around to specifically claiming that they planted evidence or that it was declassified? And we're gonna get to more of that soon. And that hasn't looked good for the Trump team. And by proxy, it doesn't look good for Aileen Cannon. So perhaps as a last chance bid to get him to delay what seems like the inevitable when it comes to this, she tried to block him from doing these interim reports. So he sent this message to her saying like, they didn't request that you do that in the 11th Circuit. Could you resume that? And so now put on the spot, she responded implying that, there's other stuff in the order that will allow you to do those reports. Okay, so he's gonna be able to do the reports. Let's be clear about that. But if there's other things that let him do it, why did you specifically amend a specific portion that allows him to do it? Why did you take that out when it had nothing to do with the 11th Circuit? So I understand that for many of you, this is probably going to be like very inside baseball or whatever. And in comparison to the larger crimes that have been committed, maybe it doesn't seem that significant. But in the specific, like if you zoom in on what can she do to interrupt this thing, Aileen Cannon, the judge appointed by Trump, well, this might be about as much as she can do, and she is trying to max out her ability to interfere and delay this thing. Jayar, what do you think?
That is the whole point here. Delays, delays, delays. We've been hearing it from even the point of when she pushed this to a special master or approved that. And everyone in legal circles were like, maybe someone wants to throw her a hint and let her know this is making her look really bad. That is the entire point. Not to look bad, but to delay. And all of the things that come with it just happen. It's what it is, it's fine, it's cool. I'm here to work for Donald Trump. Whole point is to delay. Every time any legal thing hits any of these folks, from Steve Bannon to Donald Trump, who neither one are running for office, they shout about the midterms. Bro, you're not on the ballot. Why are we concerned about your legal issues in the midterms? This judge apparently cares about that as well. So when you see the actions and the activity that goes into all these moves to try and delay and make sure every step of the way, this is a new hurdle in the way of this, it's obvious that the whole point is to protect Donald Trump. This is a judge. This also illustrates the reasons why when Donald Trump was in office and that one judge ruled against him, he goes, well, he's Mexican or Latino or something. Of course he's gonna rule against me. This is his thought process with judges. He's always said it. I get to appoint my judges, and once I appoint my judges, they work for me. He thinks judges work for the person who appointed them. Not that, oh, maybe they have particular leanings because this guy who appointed them likes the way they think or they likes their judicial approach to the law. All that stuff doesn't mean anything. All that just means is she is my appointed judge who's there to do what I tell her to do. Even when you're not in office, even when you're faced with all these types of charges. And finally, I'm glad people are starting to point out and see these holes in her argument that continue and continue. At what point are we gonna finally say everything about her is a big red flag? Everything.
Yeah, and when is she, in theory, gonna recuse herself from continuing to rule on this? Like I mean, this is not the first time that she's shown that she's incredibly biased, and she really does see herself as only there to serve the Trump team. And by the way, well, I get predictions wrong all the time. Let's keep that clear. But I don't think she's recusing herself. That would be my prediction. And by the way, if you see either this specific update or the topic in general to be like, maybe you partially agree with Trump that it shouldn't serve as a distraction from the midterms. I get it. I personally think that we can walk and chew gum at the same time. But we should also identify when the justice system is delivering something that is miles away from justice.
What are we distracting from? What's happening in the midterms that's distracting?
Well, I mean, look, there are other issues.
Voting? What am I distracted by? I'm standing in line. I'm putting my vote in the mailbox. So if I hear about what's going on with Trump, I go, oh, what's this piece of paper in my hand? I'm hearing Trump's name in the news. What does that have to do with me holding my piece of paper?
You're right. I'm trying to, like, I understand some people that there's other, like we're gonna be talking about abortion rights in a little bit. We're gonna be talking about the war later. I know for some people those are obviously more important topics, and I get it. But we don't cover just one topic a day. So anyway,
bro, they talk about inflation and the economy, and then the Russia, Ukraine. They list 17 other things that people are supposed to be concerned about, but we're distracted by one thing. Sorry, I'll stop talking.
The one that they don't want. Look, there's a reason why we start off every damage report pre-show with a breakdown of COVID numbers and gas prices. We're trying to stay focused on everything, is what we're trying to do.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.